Finding growth means finding a new passion. Roll it. Growth and change go hand in hand. If you didn't see yesterday's video, I have it right here. Click on it. I think it's going to be a good one for you, because it explains everything that I really look at from a perspective of change. It's the positiveness in our lives that we need to see change, and change is good, but usually we look at change as a negative thing, and it really breaks us when we do have to make drastic changes. But change is fundamentally good, and we all experience change. It's just how we do change that it affects us. Yes, some changes are incredibly hard, and the drastic ones, the extent, the big ones are when we lose people from our lives, whether it's due to a loss, due to death, or if it's because they've walked out on us. Those are hard changes, especially if they're immediate. They're also hard when you're experiencing somebody who's fallen ill, and they've been fighting something like cancer for years, and finally they can't fight anymore. These changes are hard, and they hurt. They hurt very much. And when we stay in this routine and we're stuck in this day to day, well, a change is hard to be seen as a positive thing. We get comfortable in where we are, and because we're comfortable in where we are, well, we don't want to let go of that comfort. It's scary to see change. But change has to happen, and that's a fundamental of life. In order to see change occur, growth has to happen. Whether we see the growth happening or we don't, growth is happening when change is happening. We need to adapt to something new. In yesterday's video, I talked about just the environmental stuff and the Starbucks and the straws. It is a fundamental change we need to make as humankind in order to see our planet survive, to see us survive. But the fact is that we need to grow through that. So how do we actively move through change and into something awesome? How do we see that? And a lot of people will get stuck in this idea of, I can't change into anything. I can't find something better. And they get into this negative self-talk, negative chatter pops in, and they go, this is it. My life sucks. I have nothing left. It's so boring. And this usually happens, especially when you're single and you've lost that significant other. They're gone, and there's no real reason that you're finding to live. And the reality is that you're just stuck in a routine. And this is the high mindset kind of thinking. You're stuck in a routine. And in that routine, you're camouflaged with all that negative self-chatter, and you can't see the other side. And before you say, well, Nico, I'm different. Well, I've gone through a lot of experiences, and, when my father was ill and we'd be hanging out at the hospitals, I talked to a lot of people, and you saw a fundamental difference between the people that were ill, who knew they were gonna die, and they still had this spark in them, where there were other people who had given up hope on everything. And at that level, we need to really look at it and say, why? A, ask that question, and B, how did that difference exist, and why did that one person have that joy in them, that happiness of life, where the other person didn't? What I realized during these interactions was that the people who had lost hope, that had lost that being of life and that had given up, and basically the illness had became them, the person they were, well, those people didn't have a passion. The people, you see, that were in their mindset still full of life, even though they knew illness had taken over, they still had a passion. They still had something to get up in the morning and say, I'm gonna keep going, and this is nothing. This is just something that popped up, and I'll deal with it. And hopefully I can beat it, but if I can't, I can't. But life is still worth living for the time I have. And this is what I saw. It was passion for something. It was passion. And it was a beautiful thing to see. And it's something that as we get older, I hope for most of us to have and not be in the latter, because it's incredibly hard going through something like that. It's incredibly hard. So how does this work and how does it look? Well, we can't find a new passion if we don't experience new things. If you are stuck in a rut, I would call it, because you're stuck in that place and you're feeling this self-guilt, this self-negative talk, this self-image, this horrible mindset in yourself, you're depressed, etc. Well, the question is, what are you doing? Are you stuck in a routine? Let's break that routine immediately. Step one, your goal is to get outside. It's time to go experience new things. This doesn't have to cost a lot of money. It doesn't have to cost you anything. It's the fact that you're gonna get up and you're gonna go for that walk. You're gonna get up and you're gonna go to a place where there are people. There are people there that are new to you, that you've never met. You're gonna meet people. You're gonna do new things that you have never done before. Make a list. And your goal is, I'm not gonna watch any more TV for at least a month to 2 months. And I'm gonna make sure that each and every day I meet at least one new character that I can bring into my story. And this character has to have these kind of features. No negativity, just positive. No negative self-talk, just positive talk. No self-limiting beliefs. Positive, inspiring beliefs. And if you start with these 3 things and then apply this to other characteristics, you will find some amazing things occurring. And what you'll find, you'll meet that person that is a cook, or they're a full-time chef or a pretend to be chef, but they love to cook and you'll experience new foods. Or that video guy, the camera guy, who loves to take hikes to the next level to get that ultimate photo, and maybe you'll find a new passion there. Or maybe you'll just meet that sports person that loves to do all these kinds of sports. And all of a sudden you might find yourself biking and rock climbing and doing all these other things. I met an interesting older fella at the gym. He was 75. I asked him, why are you here? You're 75. And he looked at me and he goes, let me tell you my story. And I was like, whoa, story time. It was very quick. When the doctors told him he was going to need 2 knee surgeries, he decided to go to the gym because, hey, here in Canada, we might have a great healthcare system, but you're waiting quite a bit for something like a knee surgery. So he went to the gym and he started working on his body, his muscles. He had a theory that he may not need surgery if he fixed his body. And long behold, he told me the greatest part of this whole thing was, I can jump up and down now. I know one day I'll still need that surgery, but I've given myself time. However, I can walk and I can talk. And I've met so many friends. It's unbelievable. I've learned so many things. And he walks around telling younger people how to properly work out. It's quite the thing. And he's met people that you wouldn't believe in. Guess what? He's the guy that has time to hear your problems while you're working out. He's the guy who will entertain you with the story and you'll entertain him with the story. He's the guy who, when you need a motivational up, he'll sit there and yell at you and be like, hey, get that weight up. And he'll literally, even though you know he can't spot you 100%, you still let him spot you. Passion drives growth. It drives change. It helps you move in that right direction. What will happen? It does not mean that you will immediately find a new passion. But what will happen is that you will start looking at life differently, and you'll start looking at the opportunities that exist in life. This is how people start to go back to the gym and they get healthier again, and then they are inspired to go travel to show off their gains on this awesome beach. This is when people go back out and they go, well, I feel comfortable dating again. All because they decided to go meet people that will influence them to move in the right direction. Now, this is one of many ways to jumpstart your passion, because this could lead into more things. I had a buddy who got into the camera work. a long time ago. And I recently just talked to him, and he makes a living off camera stuff. He left his career that was making six figures because all he wanted to do was take pictures, and all of a sudden he jumped into the camera world and he was changed forever. He makes a living from it now. He loves what he does. He hated his life before. Passion will drive change. It will drive growth. And of course, this isn't the only way to find new passion, but it's one of the many ways. And I hope you comment below to express your view of what things brought you passion, because somebody might be reading these comments and they might say, wow, that's a great idea, and you might change a life. And this is the reason I make these videos, because I want this community to thrive in this way, because everybody experiences something different. A little bit different means a little bit change in the story, and somebody else might be experiencing this. And what happens when you find passion and you start moving towards it? Well, now a new purpose is born, which brings us back to the whole talk of what I always come back to: purpose. Purpose. Because purpose brings that change forward. Because in order to achieve that new purpose, well, you need growth to happen. You need to find and set those goals. You need to find the skill sets and really be active in getting those skill sets. You're learning through that process. You need boundaries, and then priorities are revealed. You start to change your priorities, and voila, growth is happening, change is happening, and you're no longer stuck in that routine. It's an incredible thing to see. Take some time. Practice being able to get out of that routine by saying, not today, routine. I'm going out to do something different. What you will find is a new world that you can step into, that you will love. You will start to love yourself again. You will find meaning again, because this is what life is all about. It's about change, it's about growth, it's about self-love, self-respect. It's about us being the best we can be. My name is Nikos Rentas. This is mentorsapproach.com. Hit that like button if you like what you see. Subscribe, and of course hit the bell so you don't miss those daily motivational ideas that will get our mind moving in that right direction. Of course, share this with anybody that needs to hear this message right now. Share this with anybody that would find benefit, and of course, leave your comment below on your experiences, and of course, you know, the story you went through, what story you're going through, and who knows, again, somebody might read it and you might be the one who helps change a life.